5 Osmosis. How's it going for you guys?
Going good.
Okay, wow.
How are you yourself?
Not too bad besides the
Terrible news of David Lynch for sure. I've been a big
fan for a long time. Didn't expect to wake up today hearing that David Lynch is gone. So, like, stop smoking.
What about you? You guys a fan of David Lynch? Yeah, I never.
really got into it. Well, no, but I've heard his name.
Yeah, his name's familiar. I'm aware of it.
You never took the dive on Twin Peaks and you're out here in Seattle?
Shit.
Well, I think it's about time, you know.
Where are you from? Seattle?
I'm from Ohio.
Oh, damn. It's pretty far out. How do you hear?
I've been there like a couple of times.
And I find myself gravitating back to Seattle for some reason. So go ahead and introduce yourself and like what you do.
So we're the Peddled Flowers. We're kind of like a garage psychedelic rock band from Snohomish, Washington, which is like a little. It's near Seattle, very near. It's like a 20-minute drive. Little small town, right? Not really much bands from here, but we like to make like a mixture of a lot of like subgenres and rock. Mainly right now we're going for a lot of psychedelic rock and slowcore and shoegazy sounds.
Yeah.
But also still having that like blues hard rock twist to
From
it.
our origins, whereas he and I were jamming years ago.
Yeah.
What do you do, man? What do you play?
I play guitar.
Yeah, what do you play?
Electric guitar. I do vocals as well, write songs.
Well, my name is Daniel.
Oh, shit.
I play drums and I also sing a little bit too. But this guy does most of the vocals.
Yeah, we both sing with each other.
Nice.
This guy,
I'm the bassist.
Is it?
Is it bass? How did you all meet each other?
Well, I'm Mason, by the way. I'm Mason.
I'll tell you this.
just keep yourself.
So what happened was, I think it was so long ago. I think it was like through Instagram. I met him through Instagram.
We met each other
On Instagram, like 4 years ago. About. Yeah, we were still really in high school. Yeah, freshmen and shit. But
We lived separate towns, but we grew to talk about music with each other. He played drums, I played guitar. We were both
kind of new. He was playing longer. He's been playing longer than me, but
We started around the same time.
yeah, we did. And then so we started jamming in his band at the time called Rust, which was a shit show of a band.
Shitty.
It was like wannabe thrash metal, but the band members didn't get along. It's a long story.
It's a very long story.
That slowly formed into the Peddled Flowers because we were kind of tired of this specific member in that band. We were like, let's get away from that guy and start a different band. Fuck Rust. But
and imagine like it's gonna sound surprising if you heard about this far, but this band actually it started as a side project because we were trying to get away from a specific member, like Mason said, like a specific member in that band I was in, and we're like, well, and it was actually we were actually walking down that street down there, and Mason was like, well, what should we call this project? And we see okay, well here's the thing. So we didn't know if these were daisies or daffodils or whatever, but like he looks at me and he goes, why do we call it the Yellow Peddled Flowers? I was like, oh, I can't find I can't find a better name than that.
They weren't even yellow; they were orange.
Yeah.
Someone's colorblind. Maybe it's the red glasses. It's like
yeah, dude. I like rushed these on. I was like, where did I put my glasses? I had to rush downstairs to grab them.
I wear actual glasses, and I always hate wearing sunglasses because I'm like, what the fuck is it going on here? I can't see no more.
Yeah. I like these ones. These ones I can still see, but it still has like a tint to it.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to wear glasses on stage. It's too dark.
It's just too dark. It's blinded.
Yeah.
This guy.
I could wear sunglasses on stage a lot.
I've actually heard that the orange theory is like to be better for your health and your sunlight intake.
Yes, sir.
Something about that. I think it's like, it helps. Like, damn. I remember like I have like these very orange pair of sunglasses, or I don't know if they were just glasses. They were all orange, And I don't know. I asked one of my family members like, "Hey, what's this?" Like, "Oh yeah, it helps you sleep at night." I'm like, "Does it though? Does it though?" Like,
Yeah, it helps me. I sleep with glasses on every day.
Really?
No, I
oh,
don't.
damn.
I don't. I don't.
So to get back a little bit to your music, like one of the things that whenever I first came out here, somebody mentioned that Seattle's weather is like a stepmom. It's cold and beautiful in the winter. So I was like, damn, is it really like that? A cold stepmom? But then like I checked out your guys' stuff and you guys have like a song out and a music video, Misery Winter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So do you guys agree that it's kind of like a cold bitch sometimes?
It really is.
Yeah,
it really is.
Even like the winter time, it usually snows like very late. Like if you get a white Christmas here, you're consider yourself lucky, like really fucking lucky, because like usually the snow like hits like in February or sometime.
Yeah, it hasn't snowed yet here this year.
It hasn't snowed yet.
It's been cold as fuck.
Like really cold and rainy and kind of miserable.
Yeah, and when it's windy here, which it does get windy around this time, it really it's fucked. You're just kind of like, well, I don't want to walk in the here, and I like going on walks. The type of guy to walk everywhere and shit. And what's also kind of sucks is when you have a show and you're really excited for the show. It's on a Saturday. It's perfect. Everybody's gonna go.
And then the rain.
The rain
I
hit.
completely agree with that.
Nobody shows up. Then it's fucked.
It's a hit or miss, and it's like kind of funny how like if it rains, there's either no show or everybody showed up and then it rains, and you're like, fuck, I guess we're all in this now. I want to go out in this now. I'm now gonna be hearing all these bands that I thought I was gonna dip on.
Yeah.
All right, so with playing music, what kind of gravitates you guys to like work on music or write songs or get into recording and that kind of stuff?
Honestly, jamming.
Yeah, lots of jams.
We kind of we start with an idea, either it's a riff or like a drum beat, a bass line. Then we just kind of just jam to that, go together with that. And luckily with us, I feel like we all have a good ear of music, so we just it's it's like second nature to us to just start jamming and come up with something on the go. On the fly. It's
definitely.
And then we just that sounds sick as fuck. Let's make that a song. And then we do, and then we do that for a whole album, which we just finished our album today. Actually.
Finished our new album.
Yeah.
Like you have a title?
Hellwalk.
Hellwalk.
Nice. How'd that get birthed? What's the origin behind Hellwalk?
Well,
it was a song you made.
Yeah, so I had a solo album that I released. It's only SoundCloud exclusive because I just never got around to releasing it. But one of the songs on it is called Hellwalk, and it turned out to be a really good song. I was like, wow, I should make this a song with my band. And so it was a really simple idea, just one melody continuously, and then it just progresses, gets heavier, progresses, so we decided to recreate that, and it was like, a lot of the songs we're making for this current album kind of ties in with the same ideas of what Hellwalk stands for, what it means. So we were like, let's name the record Hellwalk,
Yeah.
And it's a very short record, but we're very excited to release it because it's a very sad record.
Yeah, it's like our Jar of Flies by Alice in Chains. It's like our
It's our Metal by Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah, I'm actually a big fan. So to guess to bring up some bands, what are some bands that influence you to begin with?
Oh wow, you want to start?
Want to start this one?
I like jazz a lot. I've been listening to Jaco Pastorius lately.
Okay, very nice.
Joni Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I love the Cure. That's what I've been listening to.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Cure.
Yeah, the Cure is really good.
Good to hear.
Well, it's gonna sound really was it cliche, I guess, but I always find myself listening to the big grunge gods. Like I've loved Pearl Jam for years now, and this guy gives me a hard time with it. But sometimes,
Dude, I love Pearl Jam. I don't know what you're saying.
But
it's great.
It's always mainly Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, but there's also a little bit of jazz in there, like Miles Davis and Coltrane and
I think we all listen to Miles Davis.
Yeah,
we all love Miles Davis and John Coltrane. Jazz.
Not to mention fucking Jimi Hendrix, bro.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like That is like, look, this guy is the sole reason why we're still a band.
Look at
I like that. Respect. I used to have a gigantic bobblehead.
Fuck yeah, dude! I want one of those.
It was like my go-to to have like on top of like an amp. So every time you just start playing, you just was it.
That's fire. So for me, the biggest one is 100% Hendrix. You know, not even just his guitar playing, but you know what he does with studio sounds, production, songwriting. It's all just mind blowing to me, even to this day, that someone in such early times of popular music would create something so unique, so futuristic in a sense, where it literally came out in the 60s. Sounds like something that could be made today. That's why I love his music. He pushes things forward, but not just Hendrix. I like a lot of all that early psychedelic rock, Pink Floyd, Zeppelin, but that's more like hard rock.
Yeah.
That's more like hard rock. But I fucking love Zeppelin. And I like some modern greats. I like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Definitely.
They're great. A lot of bands.
Lots of.
I like too much music to really know. I'm inspired by everything I listen to. But I'd say my top two would be like Hendrix and Pink Floyd for sure. And then jazz as well. Jazz is
in the jazz regard, one of the bands that kind of hit me late. I don't know if you've heard of them. Is JD Beck or JD
I've heard the name. I'm aware of.
Super interesting stuff. Like,
I'll check that.
Just completely mind blown on the talent and versatility for a 2-man band. They just go at it relentlessly. But
it's like traditional
another JD and Beck.
Sorry, yeah, they're like
the other kind of stuff that I feel like with like rock and roll music with the psychedelic thing, some of it is like really kind of targeted about like effects, and then some of it's also targeted about like feeling and that kind of stuff. So like go into like a little bit of like the effects and stuff that you guys use, or what kind of pedals and stuff you guys like to mess with.
Yeah,
he's a drummer. He likes the bass drum.
Yeah. But like if we're talking about like effects wise, like me, I'm kind of boring. Like I just like whenever we're going to a show, like I ask the sound man, like, oh, can I get a little compression on my vocals? Because my voice gets really buried behind my drum set for some reason. But I just ask for compression. That's it. But this guy,
I like reverb on my voice too.
This guy's got a lot.
So I have a whole pedal board if we're talking about effects, and that ties in with the whole psychedelia thing and shoegaze, and I like a lot of ambient sounds. I like to create a lot of someone can.
Oh, let's see what's in the restaurant.
I like reverb. Reverb's probably my favorite effect. You could do so much with it, especially if that shit turned up. You could feel like you're in a cloud of melody and beautiful, just ambient sounds. And I love doing that live, especially because, it can just make the people in the audience feel like they're in heaven or some shit. I don't know, but, distortion, obviously. Can't mind that.
What's rock music without distortion,
Beatles?
Well, yeah, that's, What are your thoughts on the Beatles? Because
you like the Beatles?
A lot of people say oh, it's the worst music I've ever heard, or musicians love them a lot because for their genius.
I think obviously the really psychedelic stuff in the Beatles is like in the White Album, and there's also some stuff that is like in the Magical Mystery Tour that does resonate with a lot of people to go off and do their own thing too. So that's something I think in that realm though, it's like Pink Floyd and the Beatles, they were pioneering what could be changed and what could be done, having long songs and short songs and etc., that kind of stuff. So that's kind of one thing for me whenever I get in. I'm also big into psychedelic stuff, so I'm always trying to dive into how do they emulate these sounds, and how do they find this gear that does this, especially with these amps that are a rotary and that kind of stuff, or just
automatically has these sounds in the amps. I'm for fucking tube amps, I don't know how you're making sure that this is staying alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people back then would poke holes in their amps to get distortion.
This is 1950s type shit. That's crazy.
All right, so here's a funny question for you though. All right, this is for all of you. This one's one of the off the blue ones. This is a new one for Vibe Osmosis. If you were going to be a vegetable, which vegetable and why?
Definitely a carrot.
Veggie Tales.
I was gonna say a carrot. This guy stole my vegetable.
You know, I'd be a piece of broccoli probably. I got that good afro going. Yeah, I think broccoli. They look happy, and I feel like
They look happy.
And you know, they're sexy too. They're
You know,
just
you'd be a zucchini.
Probably zucchini. I like myself you said a vegetable?
Yeah.
I'd probably be like a fucking potato or something. Like, I don't know, like I feel like I'm just like I feel like I'm just there, you know, chilling, you know, like I grow out of the fucking ground, like I'm very versatile. You can make sweet potatoes, you can make what's that? Like mashed potatoes.
that means you're gonna die, dude.
Well, personally I like myself some mashed potatoes.
Yeah, but you're gonna if you turn the mashed potatoes as a potato, you're dead. That's your guts.
But
Yeah, and end up in the toilet.
Yeah.
oh damn. But
Turn the
come on,
shit, dude.
potatoes though. Potatoes, bro.
Potatoes are good.
One of the things I think is essential, you know, vegetable wise, we're talking green beans here. You know, they go a long way. You can add them in.
I hate green beans. I don't like green beans. I always would gag eating them as a kid, and I just never went back because of that trauma.
It takes work.
I hope you know that like you're talking to like three guys that like never eat their
We're
greens.
so
The
unhealthy.
vegetables. You're ignoring the vegetables there.
Every jam day, we go to a convenience store and get all the junks. All the junk.
And this one's also kind of correlating to the three. So, if you believe in spirit animals, what do you think your spirit animal is?
That's a big question.
That's a real
Well, if we're talking like, I mean, does that tie in with zodiac signs in a way? I mean, how
It can, Chinese zodiac too.
That's all I really know about them, really. But I was always told my whole life I was told by my mom I was a wolf.
You're a wolf.
You're a wolf.
I don't really. I mean, I'm not an alpha. I wouldn't say.
But you're a wolf, bro.
Daniel's definitely like a hippo type.
I was born in the year of the dog, though.
Dude, I honestly think you're like a rhino type.
And dude, but regardless, I am huge in some way.
Oh man.
I don't know, but rhinoceros, or a hippopotamus.
I truly think my spirit animal is probably a 2-year-old kitten who is just so innocent and just doesn't care what anything thinks of it and just wants to go fuck around. And that's kind of what I feel like now. And what about you? What would you say? Well, what's your spirit animal? Yeah.
Well, we just get, but I was gonna say, I mean, I really resonate with the sheep lately because I found out sheep is resonating with like sleep, and you dream, astral projections. You're able to like become a dreamer that way, you know. So I like to think in the mind of the sheep.
That's so true.
That's
so valid.
crazy.
Is that the second joint you're rolling out?
It's a spliffer.
That's fire, dude. Let me get a hit.
Yeah. I'm usually one to go into like smoking some weed and then start playing. But in the last couple of days, I've been having to like, you know, go in sober a couple hours, start playing music, and then take a break, smoke some weed, and then realize, shit, you know, this is getting better and better. I'm still enjoying this, you know?
It's getting better and better as I keep smoking this. Dude,
some magic.
The thing with like
There's magic.
smoking and going to shows for me is I just like, if I get too high at a show, it can either be if I get high at a show, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. It's like 50-50. It's like, you don't really know the outcome until it happens. But, you know, I've had instances where I smoked a little bit before a show and I ended up just straight up having like the most euphoric spiritual experience playing live. Like, holy shit, this is epic. And it makes me feel more creative and have a lot more like ideas just right in the moment. And it takes the edge off for sure. But then sometimes if I maybe go too far with it or it just doesn't hit in that moment, maybe I'm having a lot of anxiety. But sometimes it can just do a whole 180 and I feel like I'm playing like shit. I can't move. I feel like I'm stiff. I'm like getting paranoid and shit.
Frustrated with it.
Getting all paranoid. Forgetting all the lyrics and all the riffs. Forgetting everything.
But regardless, when when you see this guy live or you see our band live, like one of the things you'll see is like, dude, this guy is a fucking beast.
Me?
Yes, you.
All right, you, dude.
I've seen some videos on I've seen some videos on YouTube, and I was really impressed. I was like, damn, they actually have a really cool set, and they like can go from like not stopping and go into the next stuff and that kind of stuff. I dig that a lot.
Hey,
Oh, thank you.
we really appreciate that. Yeah, we try and like keep things very most of the time we try and keep things all together and
Seamless.
flow into each other.
Yeah.
It's always like the coolest experience at a show.
Here's a fun question. I've never used this one on Vibe Osmosis yet either. After you guys are watching some American Dad and Family Guy,
yeah,
what do you think? What do you think is like if you were to have like a best friend as like in a fictional character world out of all the shows, who would you choose to be your best friend?
Movies too.
Fictional wise, that's to be a cartoon character, animated film.
So if we could choose anybody from any fictional series to what? To be your best friend.
Yeah, I'd say for me, I'd say Brian Griffin.
Brian, yeah, logical.
He'd be a good friend. He's real, and you can depend on him.
For me, probably Hank Hill.
Hank, yes,
Yeah.
there he is.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to just crack open a beer and hang out?
For real.
Crack open a cold one.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say like I would say best friends. I'd probably choose like Beavis and Butthead. Like those guys are just like
You already got us.
That's true. I got Beavis and Butthead, right? But like
That's so
you
good.
can just like talk about anything with them, and they'll crack you up either way. Like
I 100% agree. I love that show. Even the newer version is not that bad at all.
really?
Yeah, I haven't seen the newer movie that came out a little bit ago.
Oh,
I don't know if that was good, but I think my favorite addition to the Beavis and Butthead was the first movie that came out, the Beavis and Butthead Take Over America, whatever it's taken. I don't know. That shit was fire. I love that movie.
Oh, I forgot about Bender from Futurama.
Oh yeah, Futurama.
It'd be so
What about
friend.
Lloyd from Lego Ninjago?
Oh, dude, Lloyd's a real one.
Oh no, Kai from Lego Ninjago.
Kai,
He seems like a real.
See, Master Wu, bro. I think.
Him. Yeah.
I could take any lessons from Master Wu from Ninjago, bro. I feel like this guy he's like over 1,000 years old. He
I was thinking maybe for me, I'd probably choose like Roger.
That's valid.
Valid.
He's great. He's
Always a surprise, always a delight.
we have him and Family Guy.
With like working on music, you guys record your own stuff like on computer, DAW, or yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny
It is kind of funny
because for most of our albums, we have mainly recorded it on my old Mac that was like 14 years old.
I was on
GarageBand,
screaming for retirement type.
Yeah,
thing.
it was, but it worked.
It did work.
We made some really fire songs on it, and then for this recent album, we recorded all 7 songs on my phone.
iPhone.
Nice.
GarageBand on my phone.
With like iTrack solo or just raw?
Just
Like,
raw.
with overdubs.
We just go for it, and we just overdub the fuck out of it and experiment and create sounds. And I think it's really cool because one of my favorite bands, King Gizzard, they that's what they did for their first record.
I would never expect that hearing your stuff.
What was that?
I would never expect that hearing your tracks.
Yeah, it's, we kind of just our recordings are kind of cracked, but they kind of work for our unique sound.
Yeah, it's like, well, we're kind of broke, so we don't like going to a studio. It's like there's like so much steps into it, anything like if you want something more advanced, of course it costs some amount of money, but at the same time, like what can you use with the materials you have, and how can you utilize those to make something sound good, something sound like you know?
Yeah, definitely. So whenever I had a Mac. Well, I still have a Mac, but my old Mac, it had like the torrented version, broken version of Logic on it.
Oh, sure.
It was like Logic 10 years ago on my old Mac, and I had that forever. So then I transferred my old Logic on like a USB, put it on my new Mac, and I was playing that old Logic, and I was like, like how their drums were like set up like GarageBand, able to program more simply. And then I finally updated the Logic to the new bought the new Logic, and it changed everything. And I was like, I regret this. I need to go back. I want the old version, man. Like this is hard. This is different, dude.
That's kind of how I feel about GarageBand because on when I going back to like using GarageBand on my old Mac, it was also old GarageBand. It wasn't updated. The whole Mac wasn't updated. It was like 10 years old, so we used the old GarageBand. That shit was so easy to use. It was so fun to use. It was simple.
It was very simple.
Wasn't overly complicated. And then when I go, because I have a new Mac right now. I mean, the one I'm literally doing this
we're
on.
talking to you is with a brand new Mac.
A brand new Mac that I got about a month ago. But fiddling with the GarageBand on here, it's much more
different. I prefer the older version 100%.
Whenever I had that USB, I said go ahead and replace the file with the new updated version, so there was no going back, and I immediately regretted it for,
Yeah, I wish there was a go back to the old version.
I was like, I might have to find somebody online to buy this. All right, so to get down to, I need one. To get back onto your music, so whenever you're recording, who starts a track and how do you build up?
It's
mainly, usually it's Mason, what Ishii said, like if we take that jamming process from earlier and we, craft up a song, throw a bridge and a chorus and a solo and whatever, outro, you name it. Usually what we'll do, like in some cases for this new album we just finished, Mason will either place his phone next to his amp and my drums and then record the bare raw track of the rhythm section, and then he can overdub it, or we just get like a raw track of all three of us and then put a little bit less overdubs on that.
Yeah,
And
you said that perfectly. True.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Just live tracking and then overdubs.
We're gonna change that though.
Yeah,
here I have a good old Focusrite right here.
Oh, they have a really cool
start to learn to use. Luckily, it's a good enough one that we can connect all of our mics to it. And, that'd be really.
I need a 4 bro. I got only.
Most people have the 2
The 4 I need. I used to have a Sapphire Pro that had like a lot of inputs, and then I started, not recording mics on drums and amps and all that stuff. So I was like, there's really no more point for this. But here's an essential vibe osmosis question. Bringing back in a classic one.
Yes, sir.
If you were stranded on an island, but you could only take one thing with you, what would you bring?
Shit. Guitar. Probably a guitar.
One thing.
Not lasting long, but you'll have records.
Oh shit! I mean, I might want to have a phone with the charger.
One thing.
One.
When you see a phone would die, I would probably choose my guitar.
Infinite satellite phone.
Does it have to be like anything?
Anything.
I'm still thinking. Why don't you go?
I'm thinking.
I'd take Roblox with me.
Life is Roblox.
Life is.
I've been playing that a lot too.
I'd take Elden Ring with.
I take like a giant burger so I wouldn't starve.
That's so fast. But like, would you like just take a bite for every day? So
yeah.
I mean, that's what you have to do.
Try to save it for as long as possible.
Damn. Maybe a month.
I'd take like a good pocket knife or something. Cut trees, make a fire.
Make a boat out of it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Get back into some essential ideas here. Whenever you guys come together, how long do you think that you play music for?
Oh, kind of sucky right now.
Yeah, it varies. Because we jam at his house, but we have neighbors, so it's like whatever the neighbor feels, kind of like we go with. Because we're gentlemen. We respect other people's wishes sometimes. But sometimes. Usually the neighbor across from us will be cool and be like, yeah, you guys can jam however long you want till it gets fairly dark, whatever. But there was one case last week where the neighbor just got home when me and Issa showed up, and we were about to start. Jam was about to get so good, and then get a text from neighbor like
You gotta stop.
we have to stop. Yeah, we have.
Which is okay. We respect it. But
Well,
like,
yeah.
we stopped, but we really.
But it was kind of a bummer.
But we all have jobs
that's one.
right now, and we're all working. He's still in his last year of school.
Yeah.
So we're me and Izzy are both graduated. But we kind of just have to work a way around our our lives being busy. So
yeah,
we don't get as much time as we would like to jam. But we try and use every bit we can. We try and at least jam for a few hours.
I think the longest we've jammed is like 5 hours probably.
Yeah. I wish we could jam for like 10 hours.
Did you hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say like even whenever I start, it's like I probably give myself like increments of time, and like even if it's like acoustically, it's like, oh well, I know like I have like an hour to like at least like lay down something, and then whenever it's like finally getting to set up and play like live or whatever, it's like or hooking up into like amps, I'm trying to like use that time to like make sure it's like productive.
Yeah.
Times getting like I'm like also working with my friends right now with recording some other shit where we just kind of give ourselves like hours to like jam and record like in our like little studio practice space, and then by the time that we realize like we've been going at it for so long, it's kind of like start like realizing that okay, we have to take that step back and like have a good time and like not make it so like focused on recording and
jam,
dude.
Have fun doing that.
You guys watch any movies lately?
Not really for me personally.
Yeah, not often.
I'm more into playing video games, but I haven't really had a lot of time to watch movies. I watched Interstellar recently with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
That was really awesome. Shout out Junie.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation for me.
I said
I'm gonna be the culprit. I have an Xbox.
Elephant in the room here.
Yeah.
I have both, and like see, I use my Xbox for like more like media and some gaming, but then I find myself using my PlayStation for like classic games that literally are like, oh well, that's only for the PlayStation. So like Kingdom Hearts, for example, like majority of them are only on PlayStation. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna use my PlayStation still.
Did you see the Switch reveal, the Switch 2?
Yes, it looks great.
Yeah, that shit looks awesome. Did you see that?
I think I might have to buy one.
I have not seen
it. Looks. I'm gonna have to buy one too.
That's replacing Nintendo DS.
Yeah, man. I'm a PlayStation 5 guy. I used to be an Xbox guy, as a kid, but I slowly gravitated towards PlayStation once I got a PS4, and I got a PS5 recently, and that shit's just like, it's beautiful. I love that console.
What I hear, my nephew has one, and he loves it to death.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, so with music, do you guys have like songs where you like, oh, we all agree like we like the song, including like your own?
Fire. Like
yeah, we just practiced Fire by Hendrix, and usually when we had other bassists before him in the band, we had a hard time with covers up until now because he's with us and he has more of a diverse like range of musical interest and an ear. He has a really good ear too, and yeah, of course. But we did Fire. We did what else did we do? We did Red House too.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
We've been doing Voodoo Child forever.
Yeah, we've been mainly doing Hendrix covers because like it's just our style. It's just like our.
It's our biggest inspiration, pretty much.
It's like
Hendrix and Pink Floyd for sure, but kind of like a mixture of that sound.
Oh yeah, we did do Breathe by Pink Floyd too.
We did that.
Breathe in the air.
Yeah.
We've been working on a Pink Floyd. I think
together.
Dogs. Been really into the song Dogs by Pink Floyd lately. It's a good.
That's a great song.
It's from a great album too.
Pigs is my favorite on that record. But yeah, man.
Sheep is a good one too.
Sheep.
Dude, that whole record is probably one of the best.
Yeah.
I think my personal favorite Pink Floyd record is Metal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. And for our recent record, we kind of were really inspired by that kind of energy, for this new record. It's short, it's emotional, and it's definitely has a lot of ambient, post rock sound to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you guys have movies you guys all agree that are good, or you guys have ones where you're like, no, that movie's not good, and the other thinks the other?
It's more like us with albums. I feel like.
Oh
No,
yeah, movies
Star
are more
Wars.
mutual.
Star Wars.
Star Wars, we can agree.
Me and Daniel, we're Star
Alright.
Wars.
I've been watching the new Star Wars skeleton.
Izzy doesn't like Star Wars.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't watched it. He
It's
doesn't.
not
He doesn't
that
like.
Oh yeah. Well, we disagree on Star Wars picks.
Maybe a little bit.
Stuff.
Yeah.
But it's more like albums sort of thing, I guess.
Alright.
We can agree on like, oh, this album's good. We send each other like songs in our little group chat we have. It's like, hey, listen to this album. Well, this album has so and so on it. It's like, oh,
And this album's better than this one.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you. This one's better than that one.
All right, here's a classic vibe osmosis question.
Right.
If you could time travel, would you go forwards or backwards?
I'd go backward.
I go back too.
To where?
Woodstock. I go back to Woodstock just to experience all the bands that played there.
I'd go back to Woodstock for that to be my birth of my new '60s life, and then I'd continue living on from there. That'd be like my starting level. That'd be amazing. Mainly for the Hendrix performance,
Yeah.
and Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah, right. They had some great acts. That's a really cool vinyl. Have you heard about the vinyl where it's like a section of like all these different artists that played at Woodstock that they recorded for vinyl?
I think so.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I want to get something like that. I'm more of a CD guy myself, though.
The announcer stuff is one of the parts where I enjoy the most out of that entire vinyl. I'm like,
Why is it zooming on my face?
like, the announcer is amazing, dude.
I don't know if that's automatic for the Mac camera, but it's.
I thought about it. Was like asking me if I want to use like one of my screens, and I was like, how funny it would be if I'm using both of them and I'm going back like one angle after another.
I'm trying to get him in the shot, and then like it moves away. It's like, well,
so this is also an essential vibe osmosis question. So, like, what was your first instrument?
Guitar
for me.
I think you know this one.
Drums.
Yours was drums?
I've been playing drums for about 5.5 years now. So, and then I picked up bass, and then the story goes on.
Yeah, I started with guitar about 5 years ago, and then I picked up. I fiddle with drums and bass, but I don't play them. I mainly just play guitar.
Yeah.
Okay, and this will be the last question. So,
Get us.
shout out, like, I guess, like, what you guys are working on currently, or what you guys have planned for the 2025.
Want to start, Izzy?
we got an album going.
New album.
We also released a single a few days ago. That's on the album.
It's
All right.
Opening title of our new album. It's called The Drag. You can go listen to that everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, so on, so on.
And hopefully, I was hoping I can maybe make some homemade music video stuff for the next album. But I think the album soonest will be released probably either at the end of this month or next month, or begin early of next month. But really, really soon.
Yeah, we'll just drop it. At some point.
At this point, we're shooting drop it. I mean, we've been working on it for almost a year. Like 7 months. But
I mean, by the time like this episode of your podcast is
Jeffrey, Mom's about to kill you. You better stop.